Big Ten Today is presented by Old National Bank, official bank of the Big Ten Conference.
Penn State women's soccer got its first win of the year, topping Division II Westchester 8-0 on Sunday. Set single match records for both shots and corner kicks, scoring their most goals in a game since 2005. Among the individual stars, midfielder Kate Wiesner dished out 2 assists, her third career multi-assist outing. You do that, and you are the big interview. Kate Wiesner is joining us now. And Kate, your team's played 2 games. You played that one. You also played number 2 North Carolina, a scoreless draw in that one. What have you learned about your team to this point in the season?
It has been an excellent start to the season for us. Obviously would have loved to come away with a win on Thursday night, but North Carolina is an incredible opponent, and that was one heck of a match. Great start to the season for us, like I said. I think we learned a lot about ourselves. Happy with our starting point, but we got a lot of room for improvement as well. This is just the beginning for this group. Solid team performance from top to bottom. I think it takes all 11 of us on the field and everybody on the bench as well to pull out a win like that on Sunday. So super proud of this group and super excited for where the rest of the season can go for us.
It's amazing to me to see that you guys were picked to win the Big Ten. That wasn't amazing. What was amazing is that it's the 21st straight season that Penn State has been picked to win the Big Ten in the preseason poll. What's it like for you and your teammates to start every season with that target on your backs?
To be honest with you, we don't really care too much about that stat. I think we all come to Penn State because we know that there's a legacy of success here, both on the field and off it. But to us, it's about the process. We're a process-driven team. We know that championships aren't won based on what people say about us. They're won with our performance on the field. It's our job just to show up at training every day, trying to get 1% better every day. We know that if we do that and take care of the details, the results will come.
Well, the results have come. I'm just interested in Coach Dombach and kind of what it's like to play for her and what makes her so good. Like, why is this program at that level year in and year out, in your estimation?
Well, I could talk forever about how amazing Coach Dombach is, but I think the biggest piece that drives us is our culture. Soccer's one thing, and we're all talented individuals, and Coach is an excellent soccer coach, but it's our culture that drives us. It's our culture that keeps us going, keeps us engaged, and I think that's the piece that we lean on when things, don't go our way, and that's the piece that keeps us going when we are getting the results. So we always fall back on our habits, fall back on our culture, and that's the piece that makes Penn State so special.
You talk a lot about the culture there, and I think culture is a term that gets thrown around in sports a lot. Give me a sense of what that is. Like, how do you define the culture of your team, and how do you know when everyone's kind of in lockstep?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that a lot of teams throw the word culture around. A lot of teams throw the word family around. But when we say that at Penn State, we mean it. I love each of these girls like I would my own family. And I think that, we don't play to necessarily win rings. That's a goal, but we play for the people to the left and to the right of us. We know that I'm going to go to war for each and every one of my teammates, and I know that they're going to do the exact same for me.
Well, you talk about players you play alongside. There's been a lot of talk about this midfielder group and how experienced you are at Penn State this year. Give us a little insight into your teammates there on either side of you.
Yeah, we have an awesome group, a really good core group of returners, as well as a few really exciting new additions to the group this year. I think we're gonna lean on our experience, and we're also gonna ask some younger players to step up and play bigger roles that they haven't necessarily had to play in the past. But we've been working for this season since the last season ended. Preseason's only 2 weeks, but we've been going since the spring, since the summer, and so I'm confident in that we've built those relationships. We were all here, in June and July working on the pitch, not with our coaches, but just on our own, and that's the stuff I think that those relationships are going to be hugely important for us moving forward.
You have battled some serious injuries in your career. You had a torn ACL. You essentially missed 2 seasons. What has it meant to you to be back? Like, has that changed the way that you view playing soccer?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, in the women's games, knee injuries in particular are all too common, and that's something that I've had to battle as well as a lot of my teammates. But absolutely, I think I never want to say that I took soccer for granted before, but I think that coming back from those injuries, I absolutely have just a newfound sense of gratitude for every single moment that I get to spend on a soccer field, and really just leaning on my joy of just playing the game to drive me moving forward. And I think that's the same for some of my teammates as well. You'll see us in training, messing around, having a good time. We take our business seriously, but we also have a lot of fun doing that. And I think that's something that's going to help us be successful this year, absolutely.
Anyone who plays high-level soccer wants to play for the national team, and you've had lots of experience playing for various iterations of the U.S. national team during your time as a player, going back to U17s. You got a chance to be on the U23 team back in February in France. Tell us a little bit about that experience and what it meant to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's always an honor to get to represent your country, doing what you love. Yeah, that's a dream of mine, absolutely. But we're taking it one day at a time. I'm really grateful for those opportunities that I've had to represent my country. But right now my focus is on Penn State and on trying to win a national championship this year. And so that's where my head's at, and we'll see what happens later. But as I said earlier, we're a process-driven team. I'm a process-driven individual, one day at a time, just trying to be my best every day at training.
It's interesting, too, to think, I did an interview with Carly Lloyd last year, and she was talking about how driven she was early in her career by being cut. She was cut from an all-star team in New Jersey, and that kind of fueled her fire. And in reading about you, I noticed that you had an experience early in your career where you didn't make a team that you were hoping to make as well. Tell us a little bit about that and what you learned from it.
Absolutely. I think we learned the most from our failures. Successes are great, but that's not sport. We're all going to fail at times, and I think that the more that we can look at our failures as an opportunity for growth, as a stepping stone to our success, the more successful we're going to be as athletes and as human beings, just in life. I think that that's absolutely an important skill, and if you want to make it to the next level, you've got to be willing to take those failures, learn from them, grow from them, evaluate, and figure out how you can be better the next time.
Well, I would say that you grew from it. You're a California native. You were the #1 recruit in the country not long after being cut from that Olympic Development Program team. Coming from California, obviously Penn State's a great program. You had your pick of great programs. What attracted you to go across the country and play for Penn State?
I think there's a lot of things that drew me to Penn State, but the most important thing for me is the people. I think we have one of, if not the best coaching staffs in the country, one of the best team cultures in the country, and I just felt like coming to Penn State, I was going to have an opportunity to compete to win championships, but I also felt like I was going to leave this place and this program as a better person, of higher character, when I left, and 5 years later I absolutely think that those things are true, and so it's the people really that make this place so special.
You are a journalism major. What do you hope to do in our noble profession?
We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Obviously, playing professionally is the goal right now, and that's what I'm focused on. And we're going to try and play soccer and keep the boots laced up as long as we can. And we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Focused in on playing soccer. Big match tomorrow, West Virginia, a team you knocked out of the NCAA tournament a season ago. Give us a couple keys for the match against the Mountaineers.
It is always a rivalry game against West Virginia. We know that they're going to come out hungry after the way that things went down last year, but we are fully prepared for that fight and that battle. We got to come out competitive, got to come out hungry. We're playing on their turf, but we believe that we can go toe-to-toe with them and hopefully come out with a win.
Kate Wiesner, best of luck in that. Thanks for spending a little time with us here on Big Ten today. Have a great season.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.